everyone, welcome back to the channel. Legacy here. Today I've got another video for you guys, and in this video we're going to be taking a look at a new ATV that we just got. Got 60 cc's or 2.45 horsepower, and it's KD60A-1 model. It's spider red and it's got like a nice spider texture on it. It also came on a pallet and it was in a box, which was in very terrible conditions. It wasn't very well packed, and this is basically what came out of the truck as we got it. We just got it off the pallet and got the box off, which was just placed on top, but that's basically how it arrived. It wasn't in very good conditions. As you can see, the packaging is as is. It came with some manuals and warranty information, and it came with a registration and whatnot that identifies this vehicle that you own it. So without further ado, let's just get right into unboxing and getting it out of the box and seeing how we can assemble. Finally managed to get the frame off. It was held in place with those 4 bolts right there, and then we just had to lift the top part off. It has everything that you need basically to put it together. It comes with tools and nuts and bolts and everything that needs to make it work. So you don't really need any extra materials to put it together. As you can see, it's got 4 wheels. The front ones have disc brakes right there. As you can see, they seem a little bit smaller than they were in the picture when we purchased it, but they are, I guess, sufficient for this ATV and for its size. Like I said, it looks a little bit smaller than we thought it would be. There's the whole back rear wheel assembly and axle with the sprocket and chain drive coming from the engine right there. Again, 60 cc's, 2.45 horsepower. Everything looks pretty strong and sturdy. The suspension looks really nice. It's a pretty good build. It's all nice and sturdy. It does say off-roading and all-terrain and whatnot. So let me just give you an all-around touch-up of the whole ATV here. There's the front. The handle's in the way there, but we'll show you when we're done of a full assembled one. The headlights are right there. They look pretty nice. Like I said, they look a little bit smaller, but other than that, everything else is pretty good looking. It has the, again, spider web texture on it from the fuel tank out, if you can see that. That looks pretty neat. The front cover on top here is plastic. Other than that, that is basically it. As you can see, the whole all-around shot of it. The seat isn't very comfy. It's just padding instead of a full, like, I don't know, leather or something. It's just rubber. And then there's one more disc brake in the back, if you can see it right there. So a total of 3 disc brakes, which I believe are activated from 2 different brakes. So one lever in the front for the front brakes, and then one for the rear brakes. And then here you can see all the little accessories and whatnot that came with it. The battery was leaking in the packaging a little bit, which kind of sucks. If you can see it right there in the box. It does have a little bit of acid right there that came out of the battery. Hopefully that's not too bad to have to purchase a new battery, but we're gonna test it and see if it works, and if it works then it's fine. If not, we're gonna have to get a new one. So there's 3 guards that came with it. I'm not sure what the other 2 are for yet, but that's the front guard. I think one is for the underside, and then one more for the back, where behind the rider. And then there's the tools and everything that I was mentioning that comes with it. Tools, bolts, whatever you need to put it together. And that's basically it. We could start assembling it now. Okay, so we have finally finished assembling the whole vehicle here. It is a little bit tough to assemble, that's why I'm missing some video footage of it. Eventually I just got tired and stopped recording because some of the bolt holes and whatnot did not line up, and we were missing a couple of nuts and it was just chaotic. So we stopped the recording. Took us another like maybe 45 minutes or so to align everything and assemble it and tighten everything up. Some of the tightening spots or some of the nuts that are on there are really hard to reach, so you might probably want to just get rid of the tools they provided because they are super soft and weak. So as you try to tighten it, they just, you know, just spread apart and they don't work anymore. So just be prepared to get your own tools while you're doing this, and maybe some ratcheting tools better than the actual tools that they provide. So let me just do a quick walk around the whole unit here. You can see the whole assembled guards and whatnot on the front and the rear. There was a fuel line on there that was actually disconnected, and the instructions had nothing about it. There was nothing in the instructions about it, basically. So when we poured fuel in there, we got a little bit of a spill, but we managed to find where the leak was coming from and connect the pipe where it was supposed to go. that is basically the whole assembly process of this ATV. Other than the fuel line, there wasn't really much of an issue. The engine has oil in it. There's the fill hole, or the inlet for the oil compartment right there, which already had a little bit of oil in it, or enough oil in it, so you don't really need to fill more oil in it, but it does recommend that you check it daily before you start riding it or whatever. So these are the keys that came with the ATV here. They look like little caps. They look a little bit cheap, but you know, if the metal part doesn't slide out of the rubber here, then these are, you know, not that bad. So if we go to the back here, there's another key or safety mechanism in the back. As you can see right there, it looks just like the key. You need to, that's like the pulling mechanism. So if the ATV starts rolling or something and the parent doesn't want it to roll, then we basically need to pull it out in an emergency. It does have a lanyard with it. You can see there's a switch underneath there, which is kind of the mechanism that prevents the engine from running any further. So it cuts the, I believe it cuts the current to the spark plug, which stalls the engine. But other than that, that's really the only other safety mechanism. We did not find a reverse gear on this. I don't think there is one. So if you really have someone that's riding it, that's a little can't handle this ATV or something, it's going to be hard for them to reverse it and move it around, because it does not have a reverse gear. There's the starter right under there, the golden thing. That's what gives the engine the power to start up with the button start. So let's go ahead and move to the steering wheel column here, and we'll give this thing a test run. ATV, it can handle anyone's weight pretty much, so if an adult wants to drive it, I'm pretty sure they can, no problem. And then basically we had to adjust some of these cablings here because the engine would stall before it even started, or after it did get a one start, it started stalling again. So we had to adjust these cables because they were loose and there was a lot of play in the accelerator. So you've got the accelerator here, or the throttle right here, so you can just push it in to accelerate and go forward. There's no gear mechanism, so it's basically on the speed, how fast you go. So you just push it a little bit to go slow and then push it a lot to go fast. There's the brake for the rear, no, for the front, two disc brakes, and then you've got the left brake for the rear, which is that single disc brake. There's the kill switch, so up is kill, down is for on. And then if we go lower here, we can see there's the ignition, or the start button, give it power to start. There's the headlight. Low beams and high beams both are on the same, so one is for low beam and then the other is for high beam. For controls, that's basically it. There's the fuel cap, you just give it a twist and pull it up, and that's how you fuel it. And then if we look down here, there's the key compartment, I guess, keyhole. So you just plug it in, give it a turn, and then you hold the brake just like that so it doesn't move, otherwise the engine won't do anything. As you can see, I'm pressing it but nothing happens, but until you press this, then you can start the ignition. So you do need to hold the throttle a little bit, otherwise it's gonna stall. Just like that. And then you can just let me show you it while it's on. The exhaust is in the back here. As you can see, it's a pretty neat looking exhaust. It's got a heat shield and everything. It does have plastic coverings on it, so you might want to remove those before you actually turn this thing on and use it. Other than that, that's basically it for the whole installation and turn on and whatnot. If you want any other videos on this, or if you have any questions, please let me know in the comment section below, and don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, and we'll see you guys in the next video.